Imagine waking up one day in your 40s or 50s with financial freedom. Picture not having to worry about money, being able to travel whenever you want, invest in things that matter to you, and still have the time and energy to pursue passions that light you up. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, here's the thing. That dream can become your reality if you start building wealth in the next few minutes, I want to show you that wealth building isn't some far off, impossible idea that only happens for people with trust funds or insider connections. It's something that anyone, yes, even you, can achieve if you make smart choices today. And I'm not talking about getting rich quick or gambling in the stock market. We're going to talk about a simple, proven plan that can set you up for success, regardless of where you're starting from. Let's face it, we all know how tough it is out there in the current economy. Inflation is high, student loan debt is real, and the job market feels more volatile than ever. It's easy to get overwhelmed or discouraged, but here's something that might surprise you. The best time to start building wealth is now. Even if you think you're too young, too broke, or don't know where to start, you are already ahead of most people. Why? Because you have time on your side, and time is the most powerful wealth building tool you can leverage. The earlier you start, the better the compound interest will work in your favor, and the more time you have to ride out market fluctuations. But you need a plan that's simple, actionable, and sustainable. So let's break it down. I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide to help you make smart money moves in your 20s, no matter what stage you're at. Start with a budget. It all begins with getting a clear picture of your current financial situation. That means understanding where your money is coming from, and just as importantly, where it's going. A lot of young people don't track their spending, which is like driving without a map. Take an hour this weekend to sit down and create a simple budget. Look at your income and break it down into categories: what goes toward rent, groceries, transportation, entertainment, savings, and so on. Apps like Mint, YNAB, You Need a Budget, or even good old Excel can help you do this without needing an accounting degree. Once you see how your money is being allocated, you can start making small but powerful changes. Cut back on the unnecessary subscriptions or the expensive lattes and redirect that cash into something more useful, like paying down debt or investing for your future. A solid budget isn't just about cutting back, it's about building the habit of managing your money with intention. When you know where your money is going, you're in control, and that's the first step in building wealth. 2. Pay off high interest debt. Now, I know this can be one of the most frustrating parts of building wealth, but it's essential. If you've got high interest debt, especially from credit cards, this is the first thing you need to tackle. Here's why. Debt is like a weight around your ankles. It drags you down, making it harder to move forward and build wealth. Here's the good news. Paying off your debt doesn't have to be complicated. Start by focusing on the high interest debts first, then work your way down. If you've got multiple credit cards or loans, use the debt avalanche method. Put extra money toward the highest interest loan while making the minimum payments on others. Once that first debt is gone, you'll have more money to attack the next one. It might take time, but the freedom you'll feel when you're debt-free is priceless. And remember, debt isn't just a mental burden, it's also a huge financial drag. The less money you spend on interest, the more you have to invest and grow your wealth. Middle hook? Here's a question for you. What would your life look like if you could save 20% of your income every year, no matter how much you make? Think about it. If you're in your 20s right now, you have the advantage of time and the power of compounding. 3. Start saving and investing early. Once you're in control of your budget and have started paying down debt, it's time to turn your attention to savings and investing. And no, you don't need to be a Wall Street genius to get started. It's actually easier than you might think. Start by automating your savings. Set up a direct deposit from your paycheck into a separate savings account or investment account. Even if it's just a small amount, say $100 a month, it will add up over time. The key is to make it automatic, so you don't have to think about it. Now, when it comes to investing, don't let the complexity of the market scare you. You don't need to pick individual stocks or try to time the market. Instead, focus on low-cost, diversified investment vehicles like index funds and exchange-traded funds, ETFs. These types of funds track the overall market and give you exposure to a wide variety of companies without the need to be an expert. If your employer offers a 401k or other retirement savings plan with a match, take full advantage of it. That's essentially free money. If you can, contribute enough to get the full match every year. And don't forget about Roth IRAs, especially if you're in a lower tax bracket right now. Roth IRAs allow your money to grow tax-free, which is a huge benefit over the long term. Start early, and even small amounts can snowball over the decades. Remember, compounding works best when you give it time to grow. 4. Diversify your investments. As you start to build up your investments, it's important to think about diversification. Instead of putting all your money into one stock or one asset class, spread it out across different types of investments. This reduces risk and allows you to benefit from different market movements. Consider investing in stocks, bonds, real estate, or even things like cryptocurrency if you're feeling adventurous and have done your research. If you're interested in real estate but don't have enough to buy property yet, consider REITs, real estate investment trusts. These allow you to invest in real estate without actually owning property, providing exposure to the real estate market without the hassle of being a landlord. In short, diversification isn't just about having a lot of different assets. It's about managing risk and smoothing out the ups and downs of the market. 5. Increase your income. While budgeting, saving, and investing are important, don't forget that the more money you earn, the more you can save and invest. Look for ways to increase your income. Whether it's negotiating a raise at work, developing new skills, or starting a side hustle, increasing your income will give you more room to grow your wealth. In today's gig economy, there are countless ways to make extra money outside of your regular job. You could freelance, sell products online, start a blog, or even invest in skills that can help you get a higher paying job down the road. It might take some extra time and effort, but the additional income can accelerate your wealth building plan. Building wealth, especially in your 20s, is often more about discipline than anything else. It's about taking control of your current financial situation and making deliberate, strategic choices that set you up for success down the road. The foundation of any solid wealth building plan is understanding where your money is going. Many people simply don't track their spending, and that lack of awareness can result in wasteful habits that eat away at your potential savings. That's why the first and perhaps most crucial step to building wealth is mastering the basics, budgeting and managing debt. Let's start with budgeting. At its core, a budget is a tool that allows you to organize and allocate your money in a way that aligns with your financial goals. Think of it like a roadmap to your financial future. When you make a budget, you're making conscious decisions about where your money will go each month. It's not about restricting yourself or living in scarcity. It's about being intentional with your resources. A good budget gives you the clarity you need to make smarter decisions about spending and saving, while also helping you identify areas where you can cut back and redirect funds toward more important goals like building wealth. The first step in creating a budget is to track all your income sources. For most people, this is their paycheck. But if you have other income streams, like a side hustle, passive income, or freelance work, you should factor those in as well. Having a clear understanding of how much money you bring in each month is the starting point of any good budget. Next, take a deep dive into your expenses. Start with the essentials: your rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, and transportation. These are non-negotiable, and you'll need to know exactly how much they cost each month. It's also crucial to account for irregular expenses, things like car maintenance, healthcare premiums, or gifts and travel that don't necessarily show up every month, but still need to be planned for. If you don't know where your money is going, it's difficult to make informed decisions about how to cut back. Once you have a clear picture of your income and expenses, you can allocate funds towards savings and investments. Many financial experts recommend the 50-30-20 rule as a basic guideline for how to distribute your income. According to this rule, 50% of your income should go toward needs like rent and utilities, 30% toward wants, things like dining out, entertainment, and travel, and 20% toward savings and debt repayment. While this rule is a great starting point, it's important to adjust these percentages to fit your unique situation. If you're able to cut back on certain discretionary spending, like dining out or shopping, you can increase your savings or investments even more. One of the key benefits of budgeting is that it forces you to prioritize. Without a budget, it's easy to overspend on things you don't really need. Small daily purchases that add up over time. It's easy to justify spending on things that provide immediate gratification, like grabbing coffee on the go or upgrading your phone. But when you track your spending, you can look at where your money is going and ask yourself, is this purchase helping me move closer to my long-term financial goals? If the answer is no, then you have an opportunity to make adjustments. The real magic of budgeting, though, is that it provides you with a foundation to save and invest more. Once you know where your money is going, it becomes easier to set aside money for future goals, whether that's building an emergency fund, saving for retirement, or investing in assets that will generate wealth over time. The key is to make your budget work for you and ensure that you are consistently allocating a portion of your income toward wealth building activities. While budgeting is critical, it's not the only factor that will determine your financial success. In fact, one of the biggest barriers to building wealth is debt, particularly high interest debt like credit card balances or payday loans. Debt, if left unmanaged, can quickly become a major obstacle on your path to financial freedom. Interest on credit card balances, for example, can compound rapidly, making it harder and harder to pay down the principal. The longer you carry this debt, the more you're essentially working for the creditors instead of yourself. Managing debt is one of the most crucial steps in building wealth, and it all begins with paying off high-interest debt as quickly as possible. This means prioritizing credit cards and loans that charge exorbitant interest rates. Credit cards, for example, can have interest rates ranging from 15% to 25% or more. That means if you have a balance of $5,000, you could be paying hundreds of dollars a year just in interest. If you're only making the minimum payment, it could take years to pay off the debt, and the interest will continue to pile up, making it feel like you're stuck in a cycle. The key to tackling high interest debt is creating a debt repayment strategy. One of the most effective methods is called the debt avalanche method, which involves paying off your highest interest debt first while making minimum payments on your other debts. The reason this works is that it allows you to stop paying so much in interest, freeing up more money to pay down the principal balance. For example, if you have one credit card with a 24% interest rate and another with a 15% interest rate, focusing on the 24% card will save you more money in the long run. Once you pay off the first card, you move on to the next highest interest rate, and so on. The other option is the debt snowball method, which focuses on paying off your smallest debts first. This method can give you a psychological boost because you get to cross off debts one by one, but it might not save you as much money in interest over time as the avalanche method. Ultimately, the choice between the avalanche and snowball methods comes down to your personal preferences. Some people prefer the motivation of seeing debts disappear quickly, snowball, while others prefer the logic of saving more money on interest, avalanche. No matter which method you choose, the most important thing is to stay consistent and avoid adding new debt to the pile. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to pay off debt is accumulating more debt this might be because of lifestyle inflation, spending more as you earn more, or simply using credit cards out of habit. To really tackle debt, you need to stop using credit cards or loans unless absolutely necessary. This is especially important if you're carrying a balance that's accruing high interest. In addition to using these debt repayment strategies, it's a good idea to consider consolidating your debt or refinancing if possible. Many people with multiple credit card balances opt for a debt consolidation loan or a balance transfer credit card with a 0% introductory. These options can help you consolidate your debt into one manageable payment and give you some breathing room to pay off the balance without accumulating even more interest. Another critical piece of the debt management puzzle is building an emergency fund. Having a safety net means you won't have to rely on credit cards or loans when an unexpected expense arises. Aim to save at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in a high-yield savings account. Once you've got your emergency fund in place, you can turn your attention back to paying off debt and building wealth. By taking control of your budget and tackling high-interest debt, you set yourself up to build wealth more efficiently. The goal is to create a situation where you're no longer weighed down by debt and your income is being directed toward productive uses like saving, investing, and growing your wealth. While it may take some time and sacrifice, the rewards of financial freedom and security are well worth the effort. Mastering your money isn't about making huge, drastic changes overnight. It's about making consistent, small decisions that add up over time. Start with budgeting, stay disciplined with your debt repayment, and watch how these habits can compound to set you up for a future of financial freedom and wealth-building success. Once you've gained control over your financial situation by budgeting effectively and managing your debt, the next essential step in building long-term wealth is to start saving and investing. For many people in their 20s, this is where the real power of wealth building starts to kick in. The idea of saving or investing might sound intimidating, especially if you're just starting to get a grasp on your finances. However, you don't need to wait until you're ready or wealthy to begin. In fact, the earlier you start, the more time you have to take advantage of some of the most powerful financial concepts like compound interest. Starting to save and invest early might seem daunting if you don't have a lot of extra money to set aside, but the reality is that even small, consistent contributions can have a significant impact over time. The key is to start now and make it a habit. As the saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. It's all about giving your money time to grow, and that's where consistency becomes your best friend. The first and most important rule of saving and investing is to automate your contributions. This is a game changer for two reasons. First, it removes the temptation to spend money that you should be saving. If you're waiting to have enough before you start saving, it's easy to put it off month after month. But if you automate your savings, it happens automatically, no decision making needed. Set up a direct deposit from your paycheck into a savings or investment account so that the money is taken out before you even have a chance to see it in your checking account. This approach forces you to save before you spend, ensuring that you consistently prioritize your future financial health. When you automate your savings, you can set up different types of accounts to serve different goals. The most common categories include emergency savings, retirement savings, and long-term wealth-building investments. The first priority should always be to create an emergency fund, which serves as a financial cushion for unexpected expenses. The general recommendation is to save between 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, depending on your comfort level and job stability. While it's tempting to dive straight into investments, building an emergency fund should be your first step. This ensures that you won't have to dip into your investments in the case of an unforeseen expense, like car repairs or medical bills. Once you have your emergency fund in place, the next step is to automate your retirement savings. One of the best tools for retirement savings is a 401k, especially if your employer offers a match. A 401k is a retirement account that allows you to invest your money and enjoy tax benefits. The money you contribute to a traditional 401k is deducted from your paycheck before taxes, meaning you don't pay taxes on it until you withdraw the money in retirement. This allows your investments to grow without being taxed along the way. Many employers offer a match on contributions, which is essentially free money. For example, if your employer matches 50% of your contributions up to 6% of your salary, they're essentially giving you a 50% return on your money. If you're not contributing enough to take full advantage of this match, you're leaving money on the table. Another great option for retirement savings is a Roth IRA, especially if you're in a lower tax bracket now than you expect to be in retirement. With a Roth IRA, you contribute money that has already been taxed as opposed to the pre-tax contributions in a 401k. But the key benefit is that your money grows tax-free. When you retire, you can withdraw the money without paying any taxes on it. This can be incredibly powerful in the long term because all your gains, interest, dividends, and capital gains are tax-free. Roth IRAs are especially beneficial if you're young and just starting your career because you're likely in a lower tax bracket, meaning you're paying less in taxes now but saving big on taxes in retirement. However, even though both the 401k and Roth IRA are excellent options for retirement, don't feel limited to just those accounts. Once you've maxed out your contributions to these tax advantage accounts, or if you're looking for additional savings vehicles, it's time to consider investing in taxable accounts for long-term wealth building. While these accounts won't offer the same tax benefits as retirement accounts, they provide more flexibility in terms of access to your money. A taxable brokerage account is where you can invest in stocks, bonds, index funds, ETFs, and other assets that can help you grow your wealth over time. The key here is to treat these accounts as long-term investments. Don't use them for short-term gains. The longer you leave your money invested, the more opportunity it has to grow. When it comes to investing, you don't need to be an expert or spend hours analyzing individual stocks. In fact, trying to pick individual stocks is often a losing strategy for most people, particularly if you're just starting out. Instead, index funds and ETFs, exchange-traded funds, offer an easy, cost-effective way to invest in a wide variety of stocks or bonds without having to pick individual securities. Index funds track the performance of a specific market index, like the S&P 500, which is made up of the 500 largest companies in the US. This means when you invest in an index fund, you're automatically spreading your investment across a broad range of companies, which reduces your risk while still providing you with the potential for solid returns. ETFs work similarly to index funds, but they trade like stocks on the stock exchange, meaning you can buy and sell them throughout the day. The main advantage of ETFs is flexibility. They allow you to diversify your portfolio across different sectors, industries, or even countries without having to buy individual stocks or bonds. Both index funds and ETFs are great options for beginner investors because they are low cost with minimal management fees and diversified, which means you don't have to worry about individual stock performance. Over the long term, these funds generally perform well, making them a great choice for young investors who want to build wealth steadily over time. One of the most powerful advantages of starting to invest early is the ability to take advantage of compound interest. Compound interest is the process by which your investment earnings themselves earn interest, which accelerates the growth of your investment over time. The earlier you start, the more time your investments have to compound, which means that even small contributions can grow into substantial sums over the years. For example, if you invest $1,000 today in an index fund with an average annual return of 7%, in 10 years that $1,000 will grow to about 1967 at least, assuming the same 7% return. The longer you leave your money invested, the more powerful compound interest becomes. While investing in index funds and ETFs is a relatively low-maintenance way to grow your wealth, there are other types of investments to consider depending on your risk tolerance and financial goals. For example, if you're interested in real estate but don't have the capital to buy property outright, you can invest in REITs, real estate investment trusts. REITs allow you to invest in real estate portfolios without actually owning property, giving you exposure to the real estate market with lower capital requirements. For those willing to take on more risk, investments like cryptocurrency have become a popular option in recent years. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum are highly volatile but have seen significant growth, making them attractive to young investors looking for high-risk, high-reward opportunities. If you decide to explore cryptocurrencies, it's important to only invest a portion of your portfolio in these assets and to do thorough research before making any purchases. Cryptocurrency investments should be viewed as speculative and not as a cornerstone of your overall strategy. No matter what types of investments you choose, the most important thing is to start early and be consistent. Time in the market is far more important than timing the market, which is why it's crucial to begin your investment journey as soon as possible. You don't need to wait till you have a large sum of money to start investing. Even small contributions, say $50 or $100 per month, can add up significantly over time thanks to the power of compounding. Additionally, don't worry about being perfect or always picking the best investments. The key is to develop the habit of saving and investing regularly. The more you invest, the more you learn, and over time your portfolio will grow. Remember that building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about making small, smart decisions consistently over time, rather than trying to hit it big in the short term. Starting early also means you'll have the time and flexibility to weather market downturns. The stock market will inevitably experience volatility, but if you have a long-term mindset and a diversified portfolio, short-term losses won't have a significant impact on your overall wealth building strategy. In fact, market downturns can present opportunities to buy more assets at lower prices, allowing you to take advantage of discounted stocks or bonds. In summary, starting to save and invest early is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward financial independence. Automate your savings, take advantage of retirement accounts like a 401k or Roth IRA, and invest in diversified low-cost index funds or ETFs. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow and the less effort it will take to reach your financial goals. By building good habits early, you're set. The journey to financial independence begins with getting control over your current financial situation, and the first step in this process is budgeting. A budget is more than just a tool. It's your roadmap to understanding where your money is going each month. Without a clear picture of your expenses, it becomes nearly impossible to make meaningful financial progress. Budgeting allows you to track your income and categorize your expenses so that you can identify where your money is being spent, whether it's rent, groceries, utilities, or entertainment. Knowing the exact amount you're spending helps you pinpoint areas where you might be overspending. For example, you may realize you're spending more than you thought on dining out or subscriptions that you don't use. Once you've identified these areas, you can make informed decisions about where to cut back. In doing so, you free up more money to allocate toward more important goals, like building an emergency fund, saving for retirement. A well-thought-out budget provides clarity and control. empowering you to make conscious decisions about your money. With clear visibility into your financial situation, you can start working on eliminating wasteful spending and begin to prioritize saving and investing, which will ultimately help you build wealth over time. In addition to budgeting, managing debt is a crucial step in your financial journey. Debt, particularly high interest debt, can be a significant barrier to building wealth. High interest credit card debt or loans often operate like financial anchors, holding you back from making forward progress. The reason high interest debt is so damaging is that it compounds quickly, meaning you end up paying more in interest than the original amount you borrowed. This interest can add up rapidly and leave you with little room to save or invest. When you're stuck in debt, it's difficult to allocate money toward wealth-building activities, as most of your money is going toward paying off interest. To break free from this cycle, it's essential to pay off high-interest debt as quickly as possible. One effective strategy for doing this is the debt avalanche method, which prioritizes paying off your debts with the highest interest rates first. This method ensures that you're minimizing the amount you pay in interest over time and helps you eliminate your most expensive debts more quickly. For example, if you have multiple credit card balances with varying interest rates, focus on paying off the card with the highest rate first while continuing to make the minimum payments on the others. By following the debt avalanche method, you're not only reducing the amount of interest you pay, but you're also freeing up more money to put towards savings and investments. Paying off high-interest debt gives you more financial flexibility, allowing you to redirect funds toward your future financial goals rather than letting debt continue to drag you down. Once you've successfully managed to take control of your finances through budgeting and debt reduction, the next crucial step is to start saving and investing as early as possible. It's easy to assume that you need a large amount of money to begin investing, but the truth is that even small amounts can make a significant impact over time. The power of compounding interest, the process of earning returns on both your initial investment and the returns it generates, is most effective when you start early. The earlier you start saving, even if it's just a small amount each month, the more time your money has to grow. For example, if you start saving $100 a month at age 25 and continue until you're 65, you could end up with a substantial amount in retirement thanks to compound interest. Starting early doesn't mean you need to make huge sacrifices or drastically change your lifestyle. The key is consistency. Even if you can only afford to save $50 or $100 a month at first, the important thing is to build the habit and automate it so it happens without you needing to think about it. Over time, as your income grows, you can increase your contributions, but the habit of saving regularly will already be ingrained. Automating your savings is one of the simplest ways to make sure that money is consistently set aside for both short-term needs and long-term goals. By setting up automatic transfers from your checking account into a savings or investment account, you remove the temptation to spend that money elsewhere. This could be as simple as setting up a direct deposit from your paycheck into a high-yield savings account or a retirement account. For emergencies, it's recommended to have an emergency fund that covers 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. Once this emergency fund is in place, you can focus more on long-term goals like retirement or building wealth. When it comes to retirement savings, the earlier you start, the better. Employer-sponsored retirement plans like 401k accounts are excellent tools, especially if your employer offers a matching contribution. That match is essentially free money and should be taken advantage of as soon as possible. Contributing enough to get the full match from your employer is one of the easiest and most efficient ways to build wealth over time. Even if you can't contribute the maximum right away, just getting started and taking full advantage of the match is a powerful first step. Investing is another crucial element of wealth building that should be started as early as possible. Many people feel intimidated by the idea of investing, thinking they need to be experts or have large amounts of money to begin. However, investing doesn't have to be complicated. Index funds and exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are among the simplest and most cost-effective ways to grow your wealth. Both types of funds allow you to invest in a diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, or other assets, spreading out your risk while still allowing you to benefit from the growth of the market. Index funds, for instance, track the performance of an entire market index like the S&P 500, which represents the 500 largest companies in the US. This gives you broad exposure to the market without needing to pick individual stocks, making it a great option for beginner investors. ETFs are similar but are traded on the stock exchange like individual stocks, giving you more flexibility. Both options have low management fees, meaning more of your money stays invested and working for you. Even though the stock market will experience ups and downs over time, investing consistently in a diversified mix of index funds or ETFs can yield significant returns over the long term. In addition to investing in index funds or ETFs, you should also consider taking advantage of tax advantage accounts like a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA offers tax-free growth, meaning you won't have to pay taxes on the money you earn from your investments as long as you follow the withdrawal rules. This is especially powerful for young investors, as it allows your money to grow and compound over time without the burden of taxes eating into your returns. Roth IRAs are also flexible in that you can withdraw your contributions but not the earnings at any time without penalties or taxes, making it a great option for long-term savings and wealth building. The contribution limit for Roth IRAs is lower than for 401ks, but it's still a valuable tool to consider as part of your overall investment strategy. Even if you can only contribute a small amount each year, starting early can make a huge difference in the long run. Starting to save and invest early sets the foundation for long-term financial success. The earlier you begin, the more time you give your money to grow. By automating your savings, taking advantage of employer-sponsored retirement plans, and investing in simple, low-cost options like index funds, you're positioning yourself to benefit from the power of compounding over the long haul. Even if your initial contributions are small, the key is to begin and stay consistent. As your income grows, you can increase your contributions, but by starting early, you're giving yourself the best chance to build significant wealth for the future. As you progress in managing your finances, one of the most effective ways to boost your wealth building potential is by increasing your income. Many people assume that their earnings are fixed once they land a job, but the truth is that income growth is entirely within your control. One of the most direct ways to increase your earnings is by negotiating a raise at your current job. Many employees overlook the opportunity to advocate for themselves when it comes to salary adjustments. If you've been performing well and contributing to the success of your team or organization, you're likely entitled to a pay increase. To ensure success in this negotiation, it's important to gather evidence of your achievements, industry salary benchmarks, and a solid understanding of your role's value in the job market. If a raise is not possible in your current position, consider developing new skills that will make you more competitive and open doors to higher paying jobs. There are countless online courses and certifications available that can significantly increase your marketability. Learning in-demand skills such as data analysis, programming, or digital marketing can position you for higher paying roles in your field or enable you to transition into a more lucrative career. Another great strategy for increasing your income is by starting a side hustle. Whether it's freelancing, consulting, or selling products online, side hustles offer a flexible way to earn additional money outside your main job, which you can then funnel into savings and investments. Once you've successfully grown your income, it's crucial to think about diversifying your investments. While stocks are a popular investment vehicle, relying solely on one asset class can expose you to unnecessary risk. Diversifying across different asset classes, such as real estate, stocks, bonds, and even more alternative assets like cryptocurrencies, helps reduce overall risk while maximizing your potential for returns. Real estate, for example, is a tangible asset that provides the opportunity for both appreciation and rental income. By investing in real estate, you can earn regular income through rent payments while also benefiting from the long-term growth in property values. If direct property ownership is not feasible due to financial constraints, REITs, real estate investment trusts, offer a way to invest in real estate without the need to own physical property. They allow you to pool your money with other investors to invest in real estate projects, providing exposure to the real estate market with lower capital requirements. Another asset class to consider is cryptocurrency. While volatile and speculative, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum have gained significant attention due to their potential for high returns. However, given the risk involved, it's important to only allocate a small portion of your portfolio to crypto and ensure it's in line with your risk tolerance. Diversifying your investments helps create a balanced portfolio that can weather market fluctuations. By spreading your assets across various investment types, you position yourself for more stable long-term wealth accumulation, reducing the impact of downturns in any single market. The more diverse your portfolio, the better your chances of meeting your financial goals and securing your future.